from the hemp plant, because everyone says it's good for pain, but I haven't been able to try it yet because I've been in too much pain. So I take the gabapentin.
Yeah. Good morning, Unity on the River. We're a church of celebration, and this morning we will start with Open Up to the Spirit. Open up to the Spirit, open up to the One, open up to the Spirit, let thy will be done. All of the promises I pray are pouring on me every day as I open up to the Spirit, open up. Oh, I got a body and I've got a soul and I've got one love and I know how to hold. Oh, I got a window of time on this earth to celebrate my birth and connect to this power that makes me, a power that makes me whole. Open up to the Spirit, open up to the One, open up to the Spirit, let thy will be done. All of the promises I pray are pouring in on me every day when I open up to the Spirit, open up. From way deep inside me, deep down, there's a light I know, and it's piercing this darkness where I sometimes go. It's when I am blind, I've lost my way. I cannot see God's face, oh, but I feel that light come shining with a love that won't let go. Open up to the Spirit, open up to the One, open up to the Spirit, let thy will be done. All of the promises I pray are pouring in on me every day when I open up to the Spirit, open up. Let's go up! Open up to the Spirit, open up to the One, open up to the Spirit, let thy will be done. And all of the promises I pray are pouring on me every day. Open up to the Spirit, open up to the Spirit, open up to the Spirit, open up. Yeah. Thank you. Well, we're already up, and we're going to get lifted up even higher. So, Brian Hallisey, we welcome Brian Hallisey. He's going to start us out. Lift me up, everybody. Lift me up. I'm asking you, lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that promised land. reaching for you, God of my heart. In you I claim the right to make a new start. Finally to realize a conscious mind, it's part of the oneness we want to find. Lift me up, I'm asking you. Lift me up and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that promised land. All you people have been crying tears, the culmination of all our fears. Oh, could it be the end is near? Now it's the end of our suffering to love so dear. We gotta lift me up, I'm asking you. Lift me up and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that promised land. Yes, I am reaching for you, God of my heart. In you I claim the right to make a new start. And finally to realize a conscious mind, it's part of the oneness we want to find. Lift me up, I'm asking you. Lift me up and see me through. Lift me up and take me straight to the promise of that, straight to the promise of that, straight to the promise of that promised land. Yeah, straight to the promise of that promised land. And now please stay standing as you are able and join hands, and we will sing Surely the Presence.
Let us pray. Let us begin by taking a deep collective breath together, centering ourselves in the here and the now, the present, the only moment that is true to us, the only moment in which we experience the fullness of who we are as divine beings. The now is the only moment that we can experience God. Because God may transcend time, but we're not time travelers. All we have is now. So in this now moment, we breathe, we center, we accept the fact that we are the presence of God. We are the love of God. We are the joy of God. Our essence is all that God is. So today we come together to remember that, to celebrate that, to share that with each other, to ground ourselves in that truth. There's one power, there's one presence in the universe. It is God, and it is who I am. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen and amen. You may be seated. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for sharing your Sunday morning with us here at Unity on the River. As they say, we know you have a lot of choices of which airline you fly. Thank you for choosing us today. I am Reverend Ogun Holder, Senior Minister here, in case we've not had a chance to meet. I want to, again, glad you're here. And as my prayer hinted at, we are indeed the fullness, the presence of God and potential. So if we want to see the fullness of God, honestly, we just need to first look in the mirror, say, hi, God, and then look to each other and realize that each and every one of us is indeed the face of the divine. Just turn to someone and simply say, looking good today, God. And as always, I am thrilled and honored to share this stage today with our musicians, our singers, and our facilitator of the service today, Mickey. Come on up, Mickey. Yeah, that's you.
Morning, everybody. And before we travel today, please make sure your seat backs are upright. And your food trays are up as well. Thank you. Thank you for flying Unity Airlines. Right? They do good, Diane? Welcome to Unity on the River. I don't even need this. Wow. Thank you for coming today. I am, of course, Mickey Lucier. I'll be facilitating. So let's get things started with welcoming the streamers. Hello, streamers. Thank you for joining us. You can watch this on Sunday mornings if you can't make it. It's on YouTube. It's on our website live every Sunday morning. And then it's on YouTube. It's archived. You can watch any service. Just go to YouTube, Unity on the River, and you can watch any service if you'd like to listen to a talk again. Also, I would like to find out, is anybody here for the first time? Raise your hand if you're here for the first time. Keep those hands up. We welcome you. We have a flower and a welcome packet for you. Thank you so much. You enrich our experience here. That flower gives you 10% off in the bookstore, right here, right in the back. So just sit back and enjoy the next 6 hours. Right? Am I right, everybody? Unity on the River is a center of celebration, as you can see. Transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. As we get centered, let's please hold these truths in our heart as we say together our mission and vision statements. Mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And then our vision statement together. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. So a few brief announcements. Next Saturday, November 24th, we are going to be celebrating the life of October Craig. We're going to have a memorial service celebration here at 1 o'clock, so please join us in remembering October. The second Unity Basics class with Reverend Ogun is today at noon in the wing room. Although both classes are required for membership, feel free to drop in. Today's class you should be interested in learning more about Unity's principles. Even if you're a member, please come in if you're interested in learning some different things. Starting at 11:45 today, okay. Also, we have a Healers Open House today directly after service in Units 6C and 7. Signs will be posted to help you find it. And then, of course, this coming Wednesday, the 21st at 5:30 is our annual Thanksgiving potluck and open mic night. Fellowship and entertainment. It's always fun, guys. So if you can come, thank you for everyone who has signed up to bring food. All dishes should be fully cooked. If you want to bring something, please see Michael Mooney. We all know Michael. Michael, thank you, Michael. Welcome back, Michael. Michael's also in the office with us now. After service today, he needs to coordinate. There's a sign-up sheet as well, but definitely speak with him. Open mic is, all performances are being previewed by our very own Keith Bickford. Today is the last day to preview. Yes, if he doesn't preview, you can't perform. So that would be a bummer, so make sure you see him. And a little side note, I hope you all can come because I will be making my debut. My singing debut. I figured why not here, right? I've always wanted to sing. And you guys are so loving, so if I really do bad, you'll still make me feel good. Right? 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 All right. What's that?
We love you.
Thank you. We love you back. All right. So now let's take a time to greet each other in love with either a handshake or a hug. Invite to say, I see you. I see the divine in you. I see your magnificence. I see all of you. And namaste. And now I'd like to welcome back our very own Meg Rain with one of my favorite songs, Only Love is Real.
Isn't it the truth, right? Everything happens in this life. And in the end, only love survives through it all. So please take a breath with me. Only love is real. After the illusions fade, and only love stands here when all the smoke is clear and the world is blown away. Only love is real. Not death, not fear, not hate. And the only thing that's true when everything is through, love remains. So look into my eyes, my love, and remember everything we knew from before the before. From now until the end is our time to surrender and believe we can love like this once more. Finally, when we ask our faith that lies clear, and the world is blown away. Only love is real, not death, not fear, not hate. The only thing that's true. The only thing that's true. When everything is through. Love remains, and only love is real. Only love is real. Please join us. Only love is real. Only love is real. Please stand up. Only love is real. Put your hands on your hearts. Only love is real. It's the truth, isn't it? Only love is real. Only love is real.
Good morning. So, yeah, last week happened. Those of you who were here clearly remember what happened. Or it was one of those moments where our normal flow was disrupted. You do remember our music director and what she said, and for some of us, we've had a hard time kind of coping with that moment. You know, during the week, calls and emails and just folks having a hard time wrestling with it. I hope that was not the only thing you took away from last week's service. I hope that you truly heard the words that I shared and the reminder of what I know we all know, which is, again, when we are hurting and we are in pain, we easily lose focus of who we are. Hurting people hurt people, unintentionally or unintentionally, it happens. And last week was an expression of unintentional lashing out. And some of you may not know what I'm talking about because you weren't here, but there's YouTube. There's YouTube if you want to go take a look. I want to begin today by reading an apology that Maura's asked to share with you. And one of the things that I have been very careful and intentional with sharing with people during the week, those who asked and those who expressed discomfort with what happened last week, is to remember, again, there's a difference between what is understandable and what is okay. And I wanted to be clear to share that what happened last week was not okay, but it was understandable. Context matters. Context is king, as I always like to say. Dear Unity community, I'm writing to express my humble apology at not maintaining respect nor my professional demeanor on Sunday, neither lifting, loving, nor enlightening the congregation with song. As a community, we were all reeling and grieving, and I did not preserve the sanctity of the container to guide us through. And for this, I'm very sorry for the hurt I too have caused others, coming for their own solace in this trying time. I'm so grateful for this community these last 7 years. Reverend Ogun and our board president, Tina, were wonderful, and they're offering new perspectives to me, as well as time to heal. Patty was my friend for 35 years, and the loss has affected me deeply. Please forgive any hurt I may have caused in my hurt. I know in my heart I hold this unity community dear. I wish you all a wonderful holiday season. I look forward to raising spirit and sound with you all refreshed in the new year. Light and love, Maura. Tina and I did sit with Maura during the week and had a real heart-opening conversation and invited her to know that it's okay to be in pain right now. It's okay to be hurting right now when you lose someone who's been with you your whole life, or at least the vast majority of your life. It's okay, but that doesn't mean we're ready to do everything that we usually do. And clearly last week demonstrated that she wasn't ready to be doing what she usually does here. So we did ask her, take some time to grieve your friend. Take some time to get in touch with this deep loss, of which all the layers you have yet to uncover. And you won't uncover for years. So she's not gonna be here doing music with us through the holidays, throughout the end of the year. And that was intentional because you know what? The holidays are a powerful trigger. Those of you who have suffered loss know this. The holidays are a powerful trigger. In our absence, I've asked Meg to be our interim music director to keep us on course. And we're grateful. We are grateful for the wealth and depth of talent in this community so that we can continue to express who we are between Meg and Brian and these fine musicians and this amazing choir. The uplifting and heart-opening music that most of you come here for. I'm not under any delusions that you're here to hear me speak every Sunday. That's all cool. It's all good. Came to terms with that a long time ago. But I know you come here every Sunday with an expectation of being lifted in energy by song. And that's not going to end. That's never going to end here because that's who you are. That's who this community is beyond whoever stands here. So that's going to continue. An important thing that I want to share with you today that I hope you take away and remember this is accepting that when we have trauma in our lives, that we are being triggered into transcendence. When we have trauma in our lives, we are being triggered into transcendence. We may not see it in the moment of the trauma, and we may lose sight of it in the moment of being triggered. But this is the spiritual practice. This is the gift. And we just got to remember that. Not only remember it when we're the ones who are undergoing the trauma and the triggering, but remember it when we are on the receiving end of it. In our own collective grief, many of us, in shock and still mourning and saddened by the death of two of our members, our long-standing members. When what happened last week happened, it triggered us. It triggered us on the receiving end. It triggered us who've been on the receiving end of abuse in the past. It triggered us in grief. And so we want to respond. We want to retaliate. We want to react. We want to protect. We want to do the things that come natural to us. But guess what? We have a piece of us that transcends our natural responses. And these aren't natural responses. These are learned responses. And our path as spiritual beings is to unlearn what we have learned. Thank you, Master Yoda. Unlearn what we have learned. Realize that when we are triggered, it affects us on all levels, mind, body, and spirit. And often, the first piece of us to respond to being triggered is our body. We tense. We close in. We want to protect ourselves. Heart rate goes up. Goosebumps come out. Whatever it is. Emotions follow that. The fight or flight kicks in. We become angry. How could this happen to us? How could that person do this to us? All these responses go through our mind. It pulls back up past trauma. It pulls back up past grief, past triggers. All that stuff floods in. And physiologically, we're flooded with adrenaline and hormonal surges, and we're ready to take the world on. And then we forget that we're also spirit. We forget we're also spirit. And sometimes it takes a while for us to hear Spirit's voice saying to us, hey, remember me? You just got triggered so that I can help you heal the pieces of you that still need to be healed that you thought you had taken care of. Amen. So get over yourself and let's do the work. Or not, the choice is yours. You're always at choice point. But know that if you don't do the work, you're not going to get a different result or response. You're not going to show up differently in the world. So the choice is yours. The choice that is not yours is when you get triggered and what triggers you. That's not your choice. You don't get to wake up and say, hey, world, I don't want to be triggered today. But some of us try. Some of us do our best to avoid it. Some of us do our best. Some of us wake up and we're like, you know what? Here's who I am not going to talk to today. I am not going to turn on the TV today. And anytime I hear anyone mention a certain president, I'm leaving the room. I don't want all of that in my consciousness today. And we try to avoid being triggered. We put so much energy into avoiding being triggered, man. If we were to put the energy into the work that the triggering was inviting us to heal, oh my God, we'd be done. But we do it. It is not what we take in that messes us up. What comes in our way is an invitation. At one point in his ministry, Jesus was asked about like some kosher food laws, and again, because Jesus' whole ministry was them trying to trip him up to say something. You know, Jesus came not to rewrite the laws that were there, but to remind us why these laws, the laws that they followed, were put in place in the first place was in order to engender community and support and love of God and love of people. And as always, when things are put in place, sometimes we get so obsessed in the letter of the law, we forget the spirit of the law. And one of Jesus' missions was to return people to the spirit of the law. So they were, interrogating him about food, and Jesus says this: it is not what goes into a person that defiles them, it's what comes out. Now, he wasn't telling them abandon the laws and go eat whatever you want to eat, whenever you want to eat them. That's not what he was saying. He was saying don't get so obsessed about avoiding the bad that you miss the point of how you are turning up to be good. So don't avoid the triggers. Don't put the energy into avoiding the triggers. Put your energy into becoming aware of when you are triggered. To recognize it, to recognize the signs, the mental, the physiological, the emotional signs of when you are triggered. So that when it happens, you come up with a game plan. And be clear about this. The further along you walk on the spiritual path, the more subtle the triggers are going to be. Because the universe is going to be like, oh, you think you've got this down? Well, watch this. And the person, event that you think will trigger you least comes up. And heaven forbid we're grieving at the same time. Because when we grieve, the lens through which we see everything, the context with which we frame anything goes out the window. Our spiritual practices don't work no more for us. It took me well over a year before I could sit and meditate for any experience of time after my wife passed away. And I know about the power of meditation, so I had to come up with some other stuff. But this is what we have to remember. We have to remember that the trigger is an invitation into transcendence. Oh, plug the book. I got notes. Plug the book. If you've not picked up a copy of this book yet from a bookstore, please do it. The Book of Joy. I did a series on this earlier this year. It was this year, right? I think so. Was it last year? I don't know. Sometime before this moment. There's always YouTube. This series is the Book of Joy by the Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu. And you look at these spiritual luminaries and you tend to say, you know what? Oh, if I could just aspire to be like these guys. They aren't who they are in spite of their trauma. They are who they are because of it. Because they remembered who they are as grounded, spiritual, centered beings. And in the midst of being evicted from a homeland, in the midst of one of the worst racial government-supported, sanctioned apartheid, in the midst of horrors like that, which we can only imagine but not experience, these two souls rose up to be two of our greatest spiritual teachers. They didn't avoid the triggers. They embraced them. They used them to expand and elevate their consciousness. A couple of weeks ago, we had another trigger here at our community meeting when I and the board shared that we were, at the request of veterans in our community, we were going to put an American flag up somewhere. That was another great week of calls and emails and meetings. But hey, that's why I'm here. I'm not avoiding the triggers. I'm embracing them. And I was going to speak about this last week, but again, life happens. But I do want to address it this week because it goes hand in hand exactly with how we've been experiencing the last few weeks of being triggered close to home, not just out there in the world. Yeah, we can shut off the TV, and yes, there is something to say about creating balance and self-care and not being inundated by these things. But let's be clear, we're doing them from that perspective, not about avoidance. I'll repeat what I said last week. Whenever we avoid, we've created us and them. That's not oneness. Self-care is a whole different thing. So get clear about your intentions and where you're coming from. But back to the flag. And let me segue a little bit. Because when the topic came up months ago, when we were asked about this, my first reaction, I gotta tell you, my first reaction was, oh, hell no. No. But then I realized, oh, look, I was triggered. Spirit was like, hello, triggered, healing. So the question then was, well, why was I triggered by this? And it reminded me of the last time I was triggered like this. The last time I was triggered like this was not around an object, but a word. That word was Christianity. I had a massive crisis of faith in college. I grew up in a very evangelical context in church. Many of you know the story already. I went to a Methodist college, not because I was Methodist, because they had the program. I wanted to do music therapy. And you had to take electives. And being the good Christian boy that I was like, ooh, look, there's an elective called The Life of Jesus. I'm all over that because I loves me some Jesus. So I signed up and I took this class. And the class was taught by a local Baptist minister. And for the first time, I learned the story of the Bible. Not the Bible, the story of the Bible. Who wrote it, who didn't write it, the politics around organizing the books of the Bible, some interesting theological things as well. And it kind of rocked my world, because up to that point, for me, the Bible was the inerrant word of God. You're saying it's not? How is the universe still holding itself together? So I had a crisis of faith. I left church. I left everything. Everything. Then I meet my wife, Jennifer, in my senior year, and she introduces me to Unity. And I was like, what all kind of cult is this that I'm walking into? Right? But there was an interesting retelling of the Christian story that I could grasp. A lot of the loopholes, the biblical and theological loopholes were closed up a little bit. And I was okay with that. Fast forward, as I say, I stopped from being a user to now I'm a pusher, and I decided I want to become a minister. I am sorry, in all seriousness, drug reference is not cool. But it's a good joke, though. I can't resist a good joke. And I'm in Unity, and I realize that the word Christianity is a hang-up for me. I don't want to be called Christian. I don't want to be associated with what Christianity had come to be understood as culturally. I used to bristle every time I pull into Unity Village, and the sign was Unity, Practical Christianity, which is what it was originally called. Still is called that. Unity is practical Christianity. And I would bristle every time I see that word. I was initially overjoyed when the Unity movement itself changed its branding. Unity, a positive path to spiritual living. They took out the Christianity word, and I was like, well, all right then, we're getting somewhere now. Fast forward some more. I'm sitting in a lecture by a noted theologian, a very progressive Christian theologian, passed away a couple of years ago, Marcus Borg. Marcus Borg. Go look up that name, read some of the things he said. But he said this thing that forever stuck with me. Why are we letting one group of people define a word for us? Christianity, in its essence, is a religious movement based on the teachings of Jesus. And what did Jesus say? What did Jesus say? Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Do good to those who persecute you. Turn the other cheek. Forgive 7 times? No, 70 times 7. Jesus invited us to be the highest, grandest version of ourselves. I didn't like the word Christianity, but I loved what Jesus was telling me to do. I loved what Unity's interpretation was telling me to do. And I almost had another crisis of faith. I was like, son of a gun, I'm still a Christian. And I began to work with that. Why was I not telling people that I was comfortable with that word? Because I knew that when I said that word out loud, because of the cultural way it's become to be defined and associated with a certain loud segment who have some very, very exclusionary and narrow views of what Christianity means, I didn't want to be associated with them. But I was like, you know what? No. They don't get to take that from me. This is an important part of who I am. And by the way, this is when I was in Raleigh, North Carolina. And when you're in the South and you meet someone for the first time, you know, usually the question is, well, what do you do for a living? I'm a minister. Well, God bless you. Or bless your heart. Or thank you, Jesus. You know. Or they just come right on and ask you, so are you a believer? Are you a Christian? I mean, I was shocked at first. You know. I came from D.C. where you don't ask that question. But in the South, it's like, we got to know this up front so we know who we're dealing with. So my response when I told them this, and they would say, well, thank God, or whatever, And I'd say, but tell me, what does that mean to you? Let me tell you what it means to me. Let me tell you what my brand of Christianity is, how I follow the teachings of Jesus, how I love beyond labels, how I accept everyone for who they are, not what label is ascribed to them. How I believe heaven and hell are experiences that we put ourselves into, not some kind of afterlife reward that we're trying to gain or punishment we're trying to avoid. So, yeah, that led to some interesting conversations. It was fun because the conversations got a lot shorter after that. Because we were like, oh, okay, well, nice to meet you. And then, it's like back up the room, right? So I remember that. Fast forward to now, when someone said, a veteran said, this has importance to me. Now I got to go like, wait, why am I getting triggered? And I realized I'm getting triggered for the same reason. I allowed a specific group of people to hijack what that flag means. Then I asked myself, what does that flag mean for me? I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm an immigrant. Right? I bet you thought you said that a lot softer than you actually did, right? So, but yeah, I here legally, so nobody to worry. I'm here legally. Just quick story. 2 nights ago, my daughter comes home with a parking ticket. We've all had them. Where are we upset? Come on, it's a parking ticket. And she rushes and she's like, I was unfairly ticketed. Call our lawyer. And I was like, we don't have a lawyer. She goes, what do you mean we don't have a lawyer? It's like, what do you think we have a lawyer? You're an immigrant. How don't you have a lawyer? I was like, because I'm here legally? Like, I don't need a lawyer. Do you know what that means? So, opportunity for her to learn the meaning of the word retainer. Anywho's. So I had to ask myself the question, what do I see when I look at the American flag? And here's what I see. Here's what it means to me. And this is not me imposing my meaning on you. This is me inviting you that if a symbol triggers you, why? Why is the symbol triggering you? Because if you're being triggered by a symbol, there's some healing there that still needs to happen. When I see the flag, I see a 19-year-old boy who came to college to learn and was told, yeah, come on in and be educated. I see a young man at 23 falling in love. Because again, the original plan was to get a degree and go back home. But you know what happens when we fall in love? Forget plans. I see a young, totally petrified, unprepared father holding a newborn. Going like, can we put it back? I'm not ready for this. I see a person struggling with his beliefs. I see a person using music to transform the lives of others. I see a person finding his bliss, his purpose, the true fulfillment and resolution of why I am here in ministry. When I see that flag, I see the joys of my life. And I'm not going to let a certain group take that from me. That symbol is agnostic. And what I mean by agnostic, I mean, like the meaning we give to the meaning of anything is what we give to it. The meaning of anything is what we give to it. So the veterans that said, hey, this has meaning to us. Can we have this symbol here? Thank you for helping me heal a little bit. Thank you for helping me examine my own prejudices. Because when I wasn't a fan of the flag, really, what I wasn't a fan of were the people who decided to use the flag to discriminate, to hate. And the challenge of this book that we did for our Adventures in Faith, the story of our time, the invitation to transcend to one is to ultimately realize, that as long as I have less than loving thoughts to anyone, I've created a wall between us, and that's not oneness. It's not the same as accepting behaviors. No, we don't accept behaviors. And in case you've forgotten, there's no more legal segregation in this country. Marriage is legal between any two people who consent to it, regardless of if they're male or female, or male and male, or female and female, or trans, whatever. We have legal marriage for whoever wants it. The vast majority of the people in this country are saying yes to an upward spiral and evolution of who we are. And it's going to come in fits and starts. It's going to come with bumps along the road. We're in the midst of a major bump right now with, well, that's all I'm going to say. But again, we are always at choice point. When we are triggered, it's an invitation to transcend, an invitation to look at our own healing, an invitation to realize I still got something around this that is not allowing me to love what is meaningful to another person. Because ultimately, is what they're loving causing anybody in here harm? No. That's my baseline. If it's causing harm, my response to someone who was having a discussion with me about the flag was like, what is the first flag that anyone sees when they come to our community? What's the first? I'm going to ask you guys, what is the first flag that anyone sees when they come to our community? Peace. Rainbow peace flag up front. The rainbow peace flag up front that says essentially all are welcome here. Well, if we're going to say all are welcome here, then all have to be welcome here. And we get to grow. We get to grow. We are always growing in consciousness, and the universe is always going to trigger us to grow some more. So say yes to the growth. Yes. Say yes to the expansion. Say yes to letting the trauma trigger you into transcendence. Let's take this into meditation. Thank you, I appreciate that. Now, we're trying to meditate here, so sit down. Be quiet. Let's take a breath and take that all in. Take that all in. If you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Settle into the chair.
Gate gate, paragate, parasum gate, Bodhi Swaha. Beyond, beyond, beyond I go, and I never leave myself. Gate, gate, paragate, parasungate, bodhisvaha. Gate, gate, paragate, parasungate, bodhisvaha.
Let's sing it again. Sing it again.
Gate, gate, paragate, parasungate, bodhisvaha.
Allow ourselves to connect with our feelings right now. After today's talk, after last week, let us invite ourselves to be aware of the feelings. There is no rush to resolve, but an invitation into what lies beyond them. An invitation for healing. An invitation to transcend. An invitation to take one step closer to being the embodiment of the oneness that we believe in. So I invite you, for the next few moments in the silence, to simply breathe into the truth. Breathe into the truth beyond the feelings, the emotions, the beliefs, the judgments. Breathe into the truth of who you are. The embodiment of love, of oneness, of God. Let us simply breathe into that for a few moments in the silence. I am the embodiment of the divine. I am the embodiment of love and oneness and wholeness. Let us hold that intention for all these names in our prayer box. All the concerns around whether they be health challenges, financial challenges, whatever they may be. We hold the intention that these souls remember who they truly are. They are the fullness of God. And this is an invitation for them to transcend what lies in front of them and expand what lies within them And should you hold that intention for anyone else, I invite you to say their names out loud now. And in so doing, we see the wholeness that they are and embrace them as an invitation to our wholeness as well. And in so doing, we all transcend. And so it is. So we let it be. Amen.
Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sum, gate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sum, gate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sum, gate, bodhisattva. Beyond, beyond I go, and never leave myself. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sum, gate, bodhisattva. Beyond all separation, and never leave. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sum, gate, bodhisattva. Bringing it home now. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sum, gate, bodhisattva.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Ogun. That was great. At times like this, we always need guidance. So I'd like to, as you prepare your tithes and offerings, I'd like to just recognize the beautiful souls we know as prayer chaplains. Could you stand? Please see these souls after church if you need a prayer of love or affirmation, if you have something you're grateful for, something that's challenging you, please see these beautiful souls after church. We also have home and hospital chaplains, prayer chaplains. Those folks are here. Some of those folks are here. Excellent. Please see these folks if you have any challenges you'd like to bring a prayer chaplain to somebody's hospital bed or their home because they're bedridden. You can also submit prayers to the prayer request box, and we have a prayer line that is online on our page that will be held in prayer at Silent Unity as well for 30 days. So let us now hold our tithes and offerings, and let us affirm that these will go far and help so many. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
So the older I've gotten, the more I've liked things simple. That's including the music I write. It's getting a lot simpler. So this is a song you've heard before, and I'm sure hoping you'll join in singing with us today. And to those two stunning women and those two dear hearts, I miss you greatly. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to walk with you both. And I'm grateful that you're both shining your brilliant light in other realms for Patty in October. I think I need a battery, folks. I'm sorry. 1 second. Sure.
Well, I'm going to jump in here while you switch out. Couple more announcements I was going to give afterwards, but no time like the present. Oh, forgot my prop. So many of you know every year we collect teddy bears, which you bring in on Sunday and during the week. We infuse them with our love and prayers and blessings, and then we take them to the adult nursing home facility here in Amesbury. And the kids take them, and we go caroling and give these folks teddy bears, and it's a beautiful experience. We need teddy bears before December 9th, because I think they're going to take them like the 12th or something like that. So over the next 2 Sundays and during the week, anytime before December 9th, please bring teddy bears in, diminutive ones, giant ones, whatever, please bring them. So next Sunday when you come and you see these strange creatures sitting next to you, those of you who are new to our community, don't freak out. That's why they're here. And also, please be here next week. We're going to be gifted with a talk by an old friend to this community who still loves us dearly. Carol Wallerzak will be here. So please come to hear Carol Wallerzak. And the one thing I forgot to share with you in my talk, because as much as I always make notes, I forget stuff, around the whole flag, the day that we had that community meeting, I got a Facebook message from someone whose name escapes me right now, but used to be part of this community. And I know they didn't see our discussion because we did not live stream that community meeting, I don't think. But I got a message from him, and he randomly said, like randomly, I have a gift for you that I think when I saw it, it for some reason had your name written all over it. This is what he said. And I said, are you sure this is just a random happening? But you know what? There's no randomness in God, right? So I don't know where we're putting this yet or what we're doing with this, but yeah, this just showed up. So I'll leave it right here. All right, Keith, you ready to sing?
I hope so. I don't know if Mercury's in retrograde, but my musical gear has been in retrograde all morning. I'm glad I'm not. Grateful. Can't you see that I'm grateful yet? Can't you see I'm grateful? Can't you see that I'm grateful yet? Can't you see I'm grateful now? Grateful, yeah. Can't you see that I'm grateful? Can't you see I'm grateful now? So grateful. Can't you see that I'm grateful? Can't you see I'm grateful now? I got a grateful feeling and a thankful Lord. To the heels of the preceding night. As I open my eyes, I see that it's a world of beauty, such a world of beauty, and in this world of beauty, everywhere I see. Hopeful. Can't you see that I'm hopeful? Can't you see I'm hopeful now? Can't you see I'm hopeful now? Can't you see that I'm hopeful? Can't you see I'm hopeful now? Yeah. Can't you see that I'm hopeful? Can't you see I'm hopeful? I got a hopeful feeling and a thankful Lord. I got a hopeful feeling and a thankful Lord. I got a hopeful feeling and a thankful Lord. I got a hopeful feeling and a thankful Lord. As that evening star does rise, dawn is the heels of the preceding night. As as I close my eyes, I dream that it's a world of beauty, such a world of beauty. And in this world of beauty, everywhere I see, you know, I'm grateful. Can't you see that I'm grateful? I'm grateful, yeah. Can't you see that I'm grateful? Can't you see I'm grateful now? I'm grateful. Can't you see that I'm grateful? Can't you see I'm grateful now? I'm grateful. Can't you see that I'm grateful? Can't you see I'm grateful now? I got a great feeling and a thankful Lord. Got a great feeling and a thankful Lord. I got a great feeling and a thankful Lord. I got a great feeling and a thankful Lord.
Let us take a moment to give thanks for these gifts. So I invite you to go to a place of gratitude in your heart, and however you have given to the spiritual community, whether it is here in service, you donated online, you mailed in a tithe, a gift, or you give it automatically from your checking account, or however you continue to invest in your spiritual community, we are grateful. And from that place of spiritual practice, we tithe on a portion of these gifts back into the Amesbury community and the wider unity movement, and we are grateful, and so it is. Amen and amen. Thank you. Before we go on, I got to make a special presentation and acknowledgement. A little backstory first. In unity, there are kind of two ways you can become a spiritual leader. One of them is the obvious way, being a minister. But then there's another path in unity called licensed unity teacher. And individuals who choose to pursue this path, they've got to take a crap ton of unity classes. Honestly, more than I had to take to become a minister. They've got to take some training in leadership, training in public speaking, training in just training. There's always training for these folks. But when they reach the end of this path, the Unity Worldwide Ministries, the Unity Movement, acknowledges their work. They become a licensed Unity teacher, which basically gives them not just the right, but the privilege, the authority to teach the theology, the essence of what unity is. Over the years in this community, there have been many people who've embarked on this path. And today, for the first time in the history of this community, we are honored that someone has completed this path and is now a licensed unity teacher. I give you Tom Paolini, licensed unity teacher. So you may have noticed that there are a lot of faces here that you don't normally see. In case you didn't realize, they're here for you. Be seated, please. They came to celebrate you today. And the celebration continues after service because those also wonderful yet sneaky prayer chaplains have put together a celebration in hospitality in your honor and for the work that you've done. And you gave me this to sign as your minister. I have to sign this, and this is official now. I've signed it. It is official. You are a licensed unity teacher, and all I can say is I'm so proud of you. I recognize the gift that you are, and it's been really fun to see you evolve over the short space of time that I've been here. And to see you grow in depth and in heart. And Your love for this community has been nothing but inspiring. So I want to present this to you and tell you congratulations. And we love you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, really. The reason I came to Unity was because of the workshops and the classes that they taught. Never ever thinking that I would be on a path to become a teacher. But I was just so inspired by the classes that they were teaching and the teachers that I met. And, you know, so this became a goal. But having achieved this, and when I was presented with this at the Village last week, and I have some such great support with all of you that have kind of nudged me along the way, Amy, Rena, Ogun, and so many more, that, you know, this is great, but the love and the support of the community, of my family, my daughter's here, my wife is on live streaming, hello, hon. What, she's here? And so that support, that love, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this. This is why I continue. The path continues. So thank you very much. I love you all.
Yes, his wife is here, and oh, she just snuck out. Oh. Because I was going to say, if there's no one who probably deserves more gratitude for the work and the time he's had to put in is her, being patient with him, supporting him, and allowing him to give his time and hours for this. Family support is perhaps the most greatest gift that anyone can have. So you are truly blessed with that. So thank you, and please celebrate Tom after service today. I think Mickey got some more thank yous, and yeah, then we'll wrap today up.
Yeah, all about thank yous right now. Thank you to everybody that made this service happen today and all week. Thank you for, get my glasses. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Special thank yous go out to Kate, Hannah, and Robert. Gina Janess, do you hear? No? Okay, thank you for the amazing job organizing the Gratitude Gala and all the gala helpers. There's all the names right there. There's everybody. Take a look at that. Teams are, thank you to the choir, live stream team, and a PowerPoint team. And board members, please stand. Thank you for your service. Thank you for guiding us, helping us. This Wednesday night we have a service. This Wednesday night. No, we don't have a service. We have potluck. The following Wednesday is an amazing kirtan with Sadagata. You can find more information and videos of them on our website. And now, Meg, shall we tear down the walls?
Tear down the walls. Let's just bust out of here and just blow the love all over the world, all right? Tear down the walls. It's time to fall into the arms of love. Open the gate. No time to wait. Surrender to the arms of love. Surrender to the arms of love. 1, 2, 3, tear down the wall. It's time to fall into the arms of love. Open the gate. No time to wait. Surrender to the arms of love. Surrender to the arms of love. Mary woke one morning to the presence. She felt it. The Christ was born within her. But in that brand new moment came the message. You can't resist the call. No, you can't resist the call. can make it. But fearful as we are, we hear that message. Oh, you can't resist the call. No, you can't resist the call. Tear down the wall. It's time to fall into the arms of love. Open the gates. No time to wait. Surrender to the arms of love. Surrender to the arms of Tear down the walls. It's time to fall into the arms of love. Open the gates. No time to wait. Surrender to the arms of love. Surrender to the arms of love. Tear down the walls. It's time to fall into the arms of love. Open the gates. No time to wait. Surrender to the arms of love. Surrender to the arms of love. Tear down the walls. It's time to fall into the arms of love. Open the gate. No time to wait. Surrender to the arms of love. Surrender to the arms of
All right, it's that time. Let's welcome in the children.
Welcome to the light.
Good morning. Look at these guys. So real quick, I don't even know how I can make this quick. Matthew did the coolest lesson today on unity, oneness, and dividing us into different groups based on all sorts of different things and how we're still one. It was really mind-blowing. Anyways, what I do need to talk about is the giving tree. It's going to be rolling out next weekend. We're going to do it a little bit different this year. We still have the tags from the Amesbury organization. We have less tags. They have less need. But, yay. But, so you can contribute in one of three ways. You can get a tag off the tree, or you can, if you're not a shopper and you want to contribute cash, you can contribute. If you don't want to contribute financially and you want to be a shopper, you can be on our shopper team. So we're going to have 3 different groups. The other thing that I want everybody to know that last year, and I think we should always be doing it, is that we had some need within our community, and that we were able to take care of, but I'd like to do it more. So if you know a family, children, your own children, your grandchildren within our community that would need some support and something, let Sarah, myself, or Matthew know, and we'll add them to the list, and we'll take care of that. Okay. And you know, there's all like rules, like don't wrap them, That will be next week, but just pay attention, and then, you know, if you don't get a tag, because sometimes that happens, and people are really upset, I'm sure that we're going to have people to contribute to. Peter mentioned that sometimes he gets calls a week before Christmas, and we would like to fulfill them. So we're thinking that this might be able to allow us to do that kind of thing. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. But this year, if you don't get a tag, you're not going to get upset. You're going to get triggered, and you're going to transcend, right? Right? We talked about this. Did you forget my talk already? No, please don't. Okay? So just remember that. And please check online, your email, and the website for all the holiday events. We posted them. We'll talk about them more next week. We're running out of time. So let's stand right now, take the hand of our neighbor, affirm the truth for ourselves, for these children, for everyone. Let there be peace on earth, and it begins with us.
The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of